Welcome to Driveway Garage. Today I'm working on a new project. I just bought a 2011 Cadillac DTS, which is a DeVille. Let me show you what I have. This is the car. You can see that door panel is off. And I'm going to show you how to remove the door panel in case you have one of these or a similar car. I know a lot of cars, it's kind of similar. I've taken a lot of door panels off. So to start with, here's your door panel attached. What you need to do is remove this panel behind here. It's really easy to do because there's really nothing that holds it in there. What I did is I took a small pick and I got in behind this corner here and just pulled on it, and it comes right out of there. When you get that out of there, there is a Phillips screw holding the door panel onto a piece of metal. Now, once you get that out of there, it's just mostly a matter of pulling clips. Now the one I took off was super hard to take off. I thought for sure I was going to break something, the door panel, something. And since it's off, I'll show you what holds it on. It's attached by all these clips. You can see right there. Now there's one just for an alignment pin. There's another alignment pin here. Now somebody's been into the store before, I know, because the window came off track before somebody fixed it. You see these yellow pins, those are the ones somebody's replaced. I don't know how I managed it, but I only broke one when I was doing this, which really surprises me. They just slip in. You got this main plastic part, these clips slip into a little groove here, so I can get another one of those and replace it if I decide to do that. But you really have to pry hard to get these babies to pop loose, because you can see how long they are. They're over an inch long, and I really thought for sure I was going to break this door panel trying to get that thing off of there, but I got it off of there. Now once you get it off, you're going to notice you have to pull it away at the bottom and then lift up on it. And when you do, this is your door latch or lock. Of course it goes up and down, and it'll go through the hole at the top. Sorry, there. It'll slip up through there or down through there and sit down here. Now there's this clip, wiring harness, that goes into the door. These are your controls, and I just have it stuck in behind there to keep it out of the way. Now, let's see. Oh, I guess it's on the other side. This is where it plugs into, and when you take the door off, this part, maybe it won't go up. This part is flipped up, and that's what locks it in place. And then when you pry down on the handle, it'll release the lock, and then that harness will come out of there. And you've got another one. Let's see, where does it plug into? Oh, I think it's up here. Oh, it's probably in behind here. I'll have to take this off to show you, I think. Let's see, I don't see it here. Okay, so let me back this out further. There. Once you get that pried loose from the door and lift it up, you move that blue clip there. That'll release that one. Now there's another one in here I'm trying to see, but maybe it's in behind. Hard to remember. Then the next step, and I really like the way they did this, is they've got this piece of plastic, call it a vapor barrier, but instead of having that sticky tar stuff all the way around it and having to pull it off and tear the lining and everything, because a lot of these used to be like kind of a cloth mesh stuff. You take out these white pins here, and the way you do that, let me grab my pick or something here. Where are you at there, little pick? You can use a small screwdriver. All you do is push in on the center of that tab, and that frees it, and then it'll pop out of there, as you just saw. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 of those, it looks like. So you got to pop all those out, and then this piece of plastic will come out. Now these wire clips, this wiring harness is just in these plastic clips, and it just comes right out just like that. This one goes down, this one goes to the side. I wasn't going to film this because I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, but now that I'm all done, except for one important step, I got all this done. I started putting it back together, and then I remembered I forgot to attach the glass back to the frame. What do they call that thing? Anyway, it's the bracket that moves the window up and down. I forgot to reattach it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, and I'm going to show you what the problem was with mine. Sometimes there's a cable, you'll see it. Sometimes it breaks. Sometimes the motor goes bad. In my case, it just kind of came off its track, and I'll show you that. But I'm going to go ahead and pop all these pins out of here, get this cover out of the way. Then there's another wiring harness. I'll show you how it attaches. And I'll just pause this. You don't have to watch me take all these pins out. I decided I'll just keep recording just in case you want to watch it. If you don't, you can fast forward. They're pretty easy to release. Just pop in on the center. I'll show you how to put them back in when we get to that point. You could use a trim tool. I did that before, but a small screwdriver works just as well. Come on, pop loose. He said, as they don't come out. You ever done something like I just did? Put something back together, or start putting it back together, and forgot. Remember that you forgot an important step, like attaching the glass to the bracket. No big deal. Once you know how to do this, it's actually pretty easy. Come on out of there. I've taken off a lot of door panels, and not a lot like some people, but several. And this one, other than how hard it was to get off, I really like this piece of plastic, because I always hate having to tear that tar off, whatever it is, sticky stuff. You're lucky if you don't tear the material. Another thing I almost forgot about. Let's see. We've got two clips here, one here, one here. Now the clips themselves, they just slide off. Once you get these screwed on, the clips come off pretty easy. And that's another thing that helps hold the door panel on. Oh yeah. T20s. Yeah, these are T20s. There's two of them. So you take those screws out. Then these little clips just kind of pop out. Oh, that's right. They've got a plastic clip that goes into the door. So, may have to get you a plastic trim tool to get them out of there. Let's see, we got all of our, oh, I missed one white clip. You guys probably saw that. Okay, we got the wiring harness off. Now your door handle, that metal rod goes in behind here, and your door lock goes in behind this, on this little piece of track, which is kind of handy. Now this should fall off of here now. If I remember right, there. All right, so set that out of the way. Now, here's the motor and the track I was talking about. And here's the clip that holds this wiring harness onto the window. And it comes off really easy. This part's gray, this part's maroon. You just have to pry up on the gray maroon part just a little bit. And it's got a slot in the side of it on both sides, and that's what locks it on there. Once you get that lifted up a little bit, that comes right off like that. And now you can take the, oh yeah, they call this a regulator if I remember right. So now you can take the regulator out and do that. It's 3 10 millimeter nuts. Now the way it's designed, you remove this nut and you loosen this one and you loosen this one, and you should be able to slide it up. This hole's big enough that those washers will slide through, but I was having trouble getting mine out, so I went ahead and just took all 3 nuts off. And those are 10 millimeter. So you can do it by hand, or you can do like me and use a small drill. There's 1, 2, and 3. I just found it was easier to do it that way than trying to get those washers up through these holes. Now, in order to get this out of there, you have to move it in, you have to twist it, so you want the bigger part coming up into here, and then you can pull it out. So let's see if I can do this easily. Get the bottom out, there, and the top comes out. The first time, it was a little bit of a struggle trying to figure out just how to get it out of there, but there it is. Not bad. Now let me move this camera. I think I'm going to have to tilt it over just a little bit. There. So the way this works is, your motor's back here, and you've got a cable. Here's the cable right here. And it runs all the way through. And so when you raise and lower the motor, the window sits in these 2 tracks, and this bracket goes up and down, and that connects to your glass, which raises your window up and down. And this is bolted. Now in my case, if you look right here, this cable was off of this pulley, just sitting in here. And that's why it wouldn't work. Couldn't get any tension. Plus, the part in here was disconnected. And I'm going to show that to you. It comes right off. I remember how to do it. Basically, this part just clips over this track right here. And I think if I use a small screwdriver, what you have to do, there's a little tab right here. You got to push that tab out of the way, and when you do, it frees up this bracket, and then the bracket is free, and it just slips onto the side right here with these plastic clips. Now, mine is broken right there, and what happens is this little piece of metal that's attached to the cable snapped out of there, and it was just free flowing. It wasn't pulling this cable or this bracket up and down like it's supposed to. So I don't know if a person could just order this piece of plastic or this bracket, but I don't need the whole thing. Now what I did is I snapped it back in place where it belongs, and I'm wondering if I could put a zip tie around this thing to hold that cable in there, and it won't be in the way of anything. In fact, I think I'm going to try that. I'll put a small zip tie here and a small zip tie there, and then this cable will be where it belongs. My stepson came out. I figured he'd start talking, so I paused it, but So I'll put a small zip tie on there and see if that does any good. But my biggest problem is, as hard as I have tried, I cannot get this cable back on top of that pulley. I don't want to break the pulley, but this cable, as you can see, is really tight. And maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know if it's too tight, if there's a way to get some slack in it. I was thinking about trying to get some kind of a small pick and hooking the cable here and see if I could feed it up over there. But I tried it yesterday. I couldn't get it. And it's still got enough tension on it, and this is round in behind there, that the cable actually works. It rolls the window up and down. So I may just leave it like that. The back seats, you know, the windows don't get used that much anyway, mostly the front windows. So let me go see if I have a couple small zip ties and see if I can figure out a way to zip tie that together so it doesn't pop back out of there. I think that's what happened before, and they never really fixed it. I think they just snapped it back into place. I'm not really sure. I'll be back in a minute. Well, I got a couple of zip ties around there. I ran them in from the back, and here they are. I'm going to cut off the excess. I've got them pretty tight, so I'll just cut them off right here. It's not going to interfere with anything. Maybe it'll keep that piece of metal from popping out of there. So from what I saw in other videos, they had to replace this assembly because the cable broke. And in order to do that, there's some star screws. There's 3 of them. One behind here, one there, one there. Now you could raise and lower this to get it out of your way. And then the motor assembly will come off, and then you can put on your new regulator. I'm not going to do that because mine will work. I'm just going to put it back together and put my glass in like I was supposed to before. Now the glass is held in by these 2 black clamps here, and those are 10 millimeters. And one of them, this one, you can, no, let's see, when it's down, see how this fits in there. It's like this. So when it's in there, this nut is hard to reach. You have to reach in there with a 10 millimeter box in or open in wrench and loosen and tighten it, because there's a piece of, this piece right here is right in the way. The other one, I think I lowered it down so it was down here and I could get to it, but that one you can't get to. So let me get this put back in here, and it goes in the same way it went out, kind of. You just go in sideways, and you get it in there, you start twisting it. That went easier than the first time I did it. Then you get to get all your bolt holes where they belong. Oh, I forgot. There's the metal, piece of metal in behind this piece of metal. You got to make sure you get that track. If it's on the other side of it, of course, you bolt from that way. So, where you at? What are you hitting on? Something. There. Okay, so there. Now all my bolts are where they belong. So now I'm going to put all the nuts back on. It's really not a bad job. I imagine start to finish, a person could do it in an hour or less. Okay, now the regulator's in. Now what I can do is turn on the key, and I can use, let's see, oh yeah, I've got to plug this one in. Now this one, there's a couple little bumps right here. They have to go into these slots. Once you get it there, you push down on that, and it locks that wiring harness in place. So now the window regulator should work off the front. Trying to remember how I did this before. I think what I gotta do is raise that track up so that bolt's like right in here where I can get to it. The other way you can do it is you put the door back up, just plug in the wiring harness and you can do it from right here. Maybe I'll do that. So hang on just a second, I'll get the car turned on. Okay, I'm gonna go the other side. I'm just gonna do it from the driver's door. I think that's where I want it. Yep, I can get access to that bolt now. So now I have to do what I should have done before, and that is lower the glass back down into those two brackets and get them tightened up. So let's see how that works, huh? I used some duct tape to tape this up yesterday. When I bought the car, the window was down. It's been down for like a week. Fortunately, we live someplace we don't get much rain. Are you gonna go down nice and easy, window? This is going to be the fun part. I'm going to have to look underneath here and get the glass lined up with those two things. And when I get done, I'll show you what it looks like. It actually went pretty easy. I just lowered it down till it looked like it was about the same position it was before. Now I really can't see this one, but I think it's in there too. Now, what I'm going to do is tighten up this one because I can get to it easily. And then I'm going to try to lower the window down so I can get this down in here where I can reach it easier, because I have easy access to this one now, but once it lowers behind here, I don't have. But I can get this one from this side and this side and this side. So let me get that lowered down. After I tighten up that one, I don't even think I can reach in there and get to the other one. Nope, it's in there someplace, but I can't even feel it. So let me get this tightened up and lower this window down. So I can see what I'm doing. I went ahead and hooked up the door panel wiring harness so I can control it from right here so I can see what I'm doing. Now I've got that bolt tightened. Let's see if we can get that window down where I can work on it. Okay, I've got it down there where I can access that nut from either side at the bottom there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the key off, unplug the door. I just plugged in this wiring harness is what I did down here. And then I can just unplug it. Get the door panel back out of the way. Now I can finish tightening that nut up, and I can run the door up and down, see if it's lined up like it's supposed to be. I I guess it's not going to really hurt anything if that key's on. Okay, I've got this little wrench. Wow, it's not fun because you can barely get to it. Plus there's a wiring harness right behind this little Christmas tree fastener, so that thing's in my way. I think I might be there. Yep, it's as tight as it's going to get, I guess. Let's hook this window panel back up and see what we have. Okay, up. Well, it's not wanting to go up. It wants to go down, but not up. It's probably the way that cable is getting in a bind. I thought maybe it was going to work. Well, I'm going to have to take it back apart. And I'm going to have to try to get that cable over that pulley, otherwise I'm going to have to order a new assembly so it works like it's supposed to. Evidently that cable's getting caught in behind that pulley and it's just putting it in a jam. Well, I'll have to continue this video later or decide if I'm going to take that all back apart again and try to see if there's some way I can get that to work. You would think maybe I could put enough up pressure on the glass at least to get the window to go up. If I did that, I could unplug the harness so nobody rolls it back down. Let me figure out what I'm going to do here, but basically putting it back together is just the opposite of taking it apart. You put your black piece of plastic on, put all your white clips in it. I'll show you. In order to reuse these, you have to push this up out of this hole. So I just get a piece of metal or whatever, push on it. Well, not that hard. Anyway, you just want to push it up so it clears, and then you put it back in the hole, snap the center back where it belongs, and it locks it into place. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps somebody. I'll continue this video if I can figure out how to fix this thing. Well, I was able to get the glass loose and back up. One of the nuts, you can see it right there. You can probably see it better from over here. There it is right there. The other one, I had to go from this side in, and I could see it from here. You can see where my finger's pointing. Let's see if we can get this to focus a little better. I had to go in from this angle and loosen that up. It took me a while, but I got it loose. Then I was able to push the glass back up. Now I'm going to take this back out of here and see if there's some way I can fix that pulley. If not, I'm going to have to order one of these assemblies because I really would like this glass to work. So let me get that back out of there. Well, I think I got it fixed. You can see the cables going around the pulley. Now what I did is I got a different shaped pick. I hooked it under the cable, and then I started pulling on it, and then I used my finger to guide it onto the middle of the pulley. And then I just kept pulling this around all the way around the circle, and then once it got all the way in, I was able to pull it back out on this side. So hopefully now the window will work like it's supposed to. Now I took these 3 bolts out to see if that would help me, but that was going to take the whole assembly apart, cable and all. I didn't want that. So I hooked the power back up to it. I got as much slack in this side of the cable as I could. Now it's tight again, but I got as much slack as I could, so I had something to work with. I got it worked around there. I'm going to put it back in, and we'll see if that glass works. Well, I got it in, I got it put back together. It's kind of noisy though, I don't really care for that. It's up all the way now, that way I can seal the car up, it goes down, it's just noisy. I think it's that pulley. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put it back together. I'll go ahead and film it. If you guys don't want to watch it, you can fast forward it or not watch it at all, but I'll go ahead and see if I can't get this back together without forgetting anything. Now I was able to tighten up the right hand bolt by going in through here, but you can only go like a 1/16, 1/8 or 1/16 of a turn. Flip your wrench, go a little more, you just have to keep doing that till you get it tight. So anyway, there she is. Another thing I noticed, when you plug in this connector down here, the main power, you have to flip this safety latch up just a hair. Like right now it won't flip up. Once the plug's in there, it doesn't work until you flip this up a little bit. So, just something to notice. Alright, let's see if we can get this baby back together. Maybe I'll put the light out here, maybe it'll help you guys see. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything this time. That's right. I get it the right direction. Okay, the wiring harness goes on the outside of it, and it just kind of slips up into place. Get your locking mechanism out of the way, and let's see, that slips up over there. It's actually pretty easy. Oh, I forgot, I've got to take each one of these, pop the center out, and it goes back in the hole. And then push the center in flush. It's a pretty easy process. You just have to go through it step by step. Fortunately, I didn't break any of those, so I'm sure you can buy them. In fact, I bought this a while back. It's a whole bunch of different kinds of fasteners, because whenever I'm working on something, there's usually something broken or missing. It's got a pretty good assortment in there, different sizes, lengths. So if you get a chance, you work on cars much, you might want one of those so you can replace broken clips. At least my window rolls up. because I want to wash this car. It's been sitting outside forever. It's filthy. When I get this back together, if you're still with me, I'll show you what else I'm going to do to this car, because there was a young guy that owned it. It was his first car when he was 16, and he was driving in snow, and he ran over a stop sign, broke the front bumper. So I'm trying to find a bumper as we speak. There's a website called it's carparts.com, but it's car-parts, or is it car-parts.com, and it connects you to all the junkyards in the United States. So you can start off searching locally, and then you can just keep going out, and you can search for, you know, anything a junkyard has. Now there's a white bumper that would fit on this. This car is silver. I was really hoping to find a silver one so I could just put it back on and not have to paint it. But this one's just a little over an hour away, so at least it's closer. Now, I'm going to put these clips on and make sure you put it so that the slot open end is to the top. And they have a little guidance pin right here. Make sure you get them on right. That way you don't put them on upside down, which I'm sure would happen a lot otherwise. Well, let's take off the 10mm, put on the T20. I imagine they do this because this is where the handle is, and it's going to get a lot of pressure opening and shutting the door, mostly shutting it, so it keeps the panel from pulling away. Now this one, see if I can figure out how it goes. Yeah. This one had two, what do they call them, Christmas tree clips. One of them came out, the other one broke. So I'm going to see what I have in my bundle of stuff to fix it. Now on this door, when you take the handle off, probably goes right into here, but I'm not sure. There's supposed to be something there for a screw to go into, but it was the screw was just laying in behind that cover that I showed you. I'm not sure where it goes at the moment, but I think it was right here. Anyway, it wasn't screwed into anything, it was just laying there. This is the little Christmas tree clip that came out. Oh man. I'm just going to try to find a couple like that and replace it, because it's pretty hard. See if this one will work. I'm going to have to move my light where I can see. Gonna have to be longer than that one. try one of these. It's got a little screwdriver head on it. Perfect. I'll get you guys in there for a little closer look so you can see what I'm talking about. It was a burger getting those out of there. One of them had to take some side cutters and cut it off because it wasn't coming out. The head broke off. And the other one won't go back in because it's too stiff. So I'll get these two clips on. And then I think I'll look around here and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I think I can put the door panel back on. And you have to slip that over, from my understanding. Slip it over the top. And then get it down where you need it and start snapping the clips into place. I'm not going to worry about that one that broke. There's enough others holding it in place. Well, that seems to be all my parts. I don't know if this matters, up or down. No idea. Oh yeah, we gotta put the wiring harness back in the clips. One goes there, one goes there. This little one goes behind that clip. I got all those in. Oh, am I missing one right there? Well, it almost looks like I am, but maybe not. I don't see an extra one, so we're going to put her back together. Or we're going to try anyway. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There would have been 10 if I hadn't broke that one. Now a guy could take that tip, which I have, super glue it on there, see if it would help, but it'd probably just break right off. Now I see on this one, normally they have a lever inside of here you have to hook up. On this one, it's just got a little bracket that slips into here to lock and unlock the door, or open and close it, I guess. Well, let's plug our clip. Snap it into place. Now there's another, if you can see it, there's another clip right here that goes into. And then this goes up on here. Now, you also have to take this while you're trying to do this and get it down into that hole. So let's see. Get the leg cramp. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Now, normally you don't want to just start beating on these things. You want to make sure your prongs are lined up with the holes so you don't start snapping them off. In mine, I can see that one's there. Look at that. Good as new. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh my gosh, I think I forgot to hook up my motor to the wiring harness. I tell you, the older I get, the dumber I get. Well, you know what? I'm just going to leave it because now nobody will roll the door down or the window down. That's a good idea. I'm just going to leave it like that. Whoever buys the car, when I get done with it, I'll just tell them it was making noise, so I unplugged it. Hopefully they can get by without their back window. Well, once again, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody out that's having a similar problem. Oh, I'll show you what I was talking about that screw. I got this Husky knee pad. Usually I use an old piece of carpet, but that thing sure is handy. So, right behind that hole there is where that screw's supposed to go. But there's nothing there for it to screw into, so probably somebody didn't know it was there, yanked the door off and broke it. And I don't know what I could put on it to fix it. Maybe if I'd thought about it, I could have put one of my plastic clips and then put something into it, but it's alright. It's not going anywhere. It'll just be without the screw, I guess, for now. Thanks again for watching. Oh yeah, let me walk around real quick, show you what I'm going to do to this car. Now I noticed when I was driving it, test driving it, had a little clunking sound. And there's a strut over here that's loose. This is where he hit the stop sign. He hit her pretty good, broke the bumper good. And this is supposed to have parking assist, which I guess is these sensors here. And it tells you if you're too close to something in the front and in the back. Mine has a message board on the dash that says check park assist, so probably something's broken or disconnected down there. So once I get this bumper, I'm going to make a video on replacing the bumper. I think I'm going to go ahead because you have to take the bumper off to even, let's see, well, in order to replace these blinker bulbs that are not working, you can take your wheel off or you can turn it to the other side, release all these clips and get up inside there, and I think you can get it from there. In order to take the headlights out though, you got to take the bumper off and get in there, and there's like a nut here and a nut here and a bolt in there. It's not an easy process to replace these headlight assemblies, but they're so bad, I think I'm going to. I want the car to look kind of sharp when I sell it. I'll tell you what, I'll pause this, I'll show you that strut. So when I was test driving it, I wasn't sure if it was this stuff clunking around, but it actually, with the zip ties, is not moving too much. But this is what I was hearing. This seems to be broken up in here. So when I was moving it yesterday, the whole thing was just moving up and down. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put new struts on it. It's not that hard to do. And I'll do an oil change. I'll check the transmission fluid, maybe change it or flush it. Of course, I'm going to give it a good detail. The inside is, you know, I've seen a lot worse, but just from having the window down and not being cleaned, it needs a good detail. To wipe everything down, vacuum it, possibly shampoo the carpets. But you can see it's just not a perfect vehicle. This clip is broken off. There's a lot of dirt down in there I'm gonna have to vacuum out. Clean the seats, at least it's not torn, but it's, I have a guy that for about $200 will go through the whole car and detail it, steam clean it, and make it look pretty. But you look at the top of it, it's been sitting out so much. You got all that black sap or something on it. I don't know what it is, but it really needs a good detailing. Well, I'll make some more videos as time goes on. I've got to find a bumper and headlights, a strut. Seems like there's something else this thing needs. I can't remember it. The tires are good. I'll take the wheels off, check the brakes, see if they need replaced, but the rotors aren't warped, so that's a good thing. All in all, you know, I paid $2,000 for the car. Hopefully I can get it fixed up and make a little money when I sell it. I basically want to pay for my time. I'm retired. This gives me a little extra income. I'll go through, check the air breather, change the oil, things like that. There is a cabin air filter on this, which is right behind this little thing, and I checked it yesterday. It's actually pretty clean. I was surprised. A lot of times people don't even know they have cabin air filters, and they're just filthy. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that video on the door helped somebody out. Sorry it drug on so long. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again.